I've literally been giggling for 15 minutes. Mariners win 2-1. They improve to 16-13 on the season, and they take the first of 3 games against Atlanta. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Um, Scoring plays. Atlanta gets on the board first with an Ozzy Albies double that scores Ronald Acuna Jr. And in the 9th inning, Mitch Garver hits a walk-off 2-run homer with Jorge Polanco on base off of AJ Minter to make it 2-1. I'm going to try and do an ad read. Simply Seattle is the very best, and they provide the very best in Seattle sports gear. Awesome stuff for the Mariners, the Huskies, the Seahawks, the Kraken. Everybody, use code MOLLYWAT15 to save 15% off your order. MOLLYWHOP15. www.simplyseattle. A link in the description. I was so prepared to have the most negative mollywop in history. It sounded like I was almost crying there. I'm going to cry from laughter. Oh, my stomach hurts. There's a lot of stomach to be hurt. I mean, what do you say? What do you say? Oh, I'm going to try and get through this. There would be a lot of, let me just start with this, okay? I'm in a group text. You know, everybody has those group chats with Ian Furness, Nathan Bishop, and Anders Hurst. We're all in one. The 3 Mollywhoppers and the guy who helps a lot with Mollywhop, and Anders, one of the best board guys, and he's awesome. Anders is a great guy. I text them when we were talking throughout the game. I said, you know what? I have my messages pulled up right now. You can do it through your Google thing. I said, sorry. I said, something now I can't find it. I might pop a vessel on Mile Wide tonight. And Nathan texts back, they are going to win. And I text back, they are going to do a lot of things. And I was ready to say, and that's not one of them. And then Jorge Polanco lines that single, and Mitch Garver hits the walk-off homer. Oh my gosh. There was so much garbage in this game. So much garbage, and I don't give a you know what about it. Not even a smidgen, because they win. And that was one of my favorite wins in a long time. Was it the most deserved win of all time? Absolutely flippin' not. But they did. And you know why they kind of deserved to win? Because Bryce Miller pitched like a gosh darn ace. Oh my goodness gracious. How good was he tonight? 7 innings. He gives up the 2 hits, both in the 7th inning, walks 1 and strikes out 10. And honestly, as good as Kirby was on Saturday, right? Yeah. I think Miller was even better. The movement he was generating with his pitches was something that, I mean, it is textbook what you're trying to teach these kids to do right now. Some of the fastballs today, the amount of carry and run he was getting on that pitch, oh my gosh. And I'm doing it different. I can't do a bunch of positives and negatives tonight. um I was just absolutely lamenting having to talk about them wasting this start because the offense was dog crap tonight for 8+ innings. No, just 8 innings because they didn't get an out in the ninth. Only 8 innings of dog turd. And I it's it's a great win and it's a hilarious win, isn't it? Am I the only one who thinks this win is really funny and really great, but really, really funny? Oh, it might be just because of how angry I was for those 8 innings. Now, I was only really angry for two of them. I was impressed watching them go back and forth. Max Fried was phenomenal tonight. Let's give him credit. Let's give him some credit. And you know what? Here's something you have to give the Mariners a little bit of credit for offensively. They made Max Fried work. They got to that bullpen. And ultimately, it wasn't in the seventh. It wasn't in the seventh. And it wasn't in the eighth, but they got to it. They got to the bullpen in part because while the results were bad, and were they bad? And there was some bad process too. While that was happening, at least they made Fried work deep enough that it ended up because Max Fried probably would have thrown a no-hitter tonight. If this was 1968 or heck 1988, sorry for the half swear, Max Fried probably just finishes this thing off. But because it's 2024 and this is how things work, Max Fried doesn't finish this thing off. I got to go deal with a dog. She wants nothing to do with me. You're just going to have to deal with it. Sorry. But yeah, they did make Max Fried work. And ultimately, they get to him. Don't get to him. They get to they score a run. They score 2 runs. Oh, I wanted to spend or was planning to spend a long time talking about the bottom of that inning. And you know the inning I'm talking about. I mean, as bad of managed inning as I've seen from Scott Service. And then bad play too. Julio got a pitch he should have shellacked. 2 of them actually to score that tying run. Mitch Garver looked lost in the next at bat. And I want to keep the giggles going. The decision not to pinch run for Ty France after he reaches first base is one of the stupidest things I've seen from any manager ever. Ever. What in the world was he still doing in that game? Explain that to me. Thank goodness we don't have to talk about it more than it happened. It's a problematic thing if Scott Service is not going to replace Ty France late in games because he is as slow as it gets, and he's a bad base runner too. He doesn't have great instincts. I heard the Mariner announcer say that a runner wouldn't make it to third, something like Usain Bolt or something like that. Absolutely freaking not. A good base runner who gets a decent jump there absolutely makes it to third base. Come on. Come on. I was going to lose my mind. But instead, I have lost my mind. Imagine if this is your first Mile Y video. I, I, I don't know what to say. I'll just end it on this. Congratulations, Mitch Garver. who, it's a homer and he gets a walk too. We know the results are going to be better than this, in part because they can't be worse. Lola, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm going to go take care of her. Actually, I'm just going to hit pause for a sec because I got a few more things to say. What was I even talking about? Poor Lola. And great job by Polanco lining that single. And then Mitch Garver. I think he was hoping that he drew that walk. My dog messed up my collar. I'm sorry. Thank goodness he didn't. Is that really all I had to say? This video is just as big a disaster as the Mariners were for 8 innings. Only it's ending much, much worse. I joked on Twitter. Well, maybe it's a joke to some, maybe it's not. I said, if Mitch Garver hits a walk-off homer here, you have to buy your significant others a hedgehog. I don't have a girlfriend, but if anyone would like a hedgehog, maybe I'll send you one your way. This thing's kind of like a hedgehog. Yeah. I can't believe they won that game. I cannot believe they won that game. So tomorrow, you've got Luis Castillo against Ronaldo Lopez. Pretty good pitching matchup again. I'm looking forward to that one. It can't be any crazier than tonight was. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. Please consider hitting join. $4.99 a month for a bunch of extra content. Really appreciate the support. Go Mariners.